Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio. I'm incredibly excited to be joined by Daniel Tjondronegoro. Thank you so much for coming. He's from Beatgrid Media, and before I even try to explain actually what you guys do, I'd actually love to give you the opportunity to tell us what is Beatgrid Media and what solutions and challenges do you solve for your clients?
Sure, yeah, I would love to explain. So Beatgrid Media is a measurement and a data company. And we've invented a new way to do cross-media audience and attribution measurement. And the way that works is that we have built audio content recognition, ACR technology that passively runs on a mobile device with explicit opt-in from our panel community that we run in different markets. And the big market problem that we address, specifically in campaign measurement, campaign effectiveness measurement, or audience measurement in general, is that there is an increasing void in measurement for change of behavior and cross-platform understanding from what people have been viewing on TV or on video or listening to on radio. All these different platforms are seeing increased fragmentation. And I think the industry have been trying to innovate as much as they can to try and keep up with the change of behavior in the industry. I think what we see from the market, clients coming to us that they say have a massive problem to accurately attribute effect of their communication and their, how can they attribute campaign spend to a lift, for example, in brand measurement. So that's the market problem that we address. And the way we address it is, I guess, new to the point where it's finally able to do this at scale and accurately.
That's incredible. So it sounds like a very trendy and very important area to research and provide services for. And I can imagine there are similar solutions out there, but what makes you guys different?
Yeah, I think it's funny enough, we get asked the question, how does your company compare to others? And I think what we have, we don't see a lot of competitors to what we do. I think other companies have tried to do what we do, so the idea is not new, right? So some of our clients say, we basically have Shazam always on, but then for TV and video and radio advertising, to explain it more simply. So that idea is not new, obviously tried by the big audience measurement companies. I think the way we do it is completely different. We've invented a new audio content recognition technology, which provides a good user experience or lack of bad user experience to the panelists that install our app. Additionally, what we do is we obviously never record any audio, and we cannot listen to conversation. And obviously that barrier to convince users to use our app and the way that we do it and the way that we build user experience on top of a more advanced, newer technology allows us to finally do this at scale and accurately. And it's more a combination of all the details rather than one specific item in that. It's like with, if I'm a little bit of a Formula One racing fan.
Okay.
What makes the difference between Mercedes or Ferrari occasionally winning?
Okay.
It's a combination of all these little technology details that work perfectly in a cohesive way. And I think that differentiates us from a solution working, and that providing that in a way that simply allows our clients to take conclusive insights from it makes it a difference to anything else in the market.
Sounds quite innovative. If we would want to put this into a context, may I ask you to give sort of a more concrete example of a campaign or product that you worked on, like just for our audience to imagine practically how does this go?
Yeah, sure. So on top of the TV and radio and video exposure that we measure, we also get explicit opt-in to track retail visitation. So we use the same mobile device to understand tracking to, based on geofencing technology. We track location, and with that, an understanding of retail, whether that's QSR category, automotive retail, or supermarkets. Let's, for example, we have a couple supermarket clients. They really want to understand the attribution to the different channels, so exposures to TV, exposures to radio, exposures to video, but also exposures to out of home that we also do with location tracking, and how that drives a conversion into the store. Additionally, what we do is post-campaign, mid-campaign, we send our users, our panelists, a survey and can compare brand lift and the relation between brand lift, store visitation, and passively measured exposures to TV, radio, and video. So yeah, that has allowed our clients to save millions
I can imagine,
in return on advertising.
It must be a complicated, a complicated one to coordinate and set up and execute. It sounds very.
It sounds complicated. We managed to make it very simple.
That's it. That's the key to success, I believe, right? It's amazing. And you are award winners. You won an award for attribution. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, exactly. So we, ICOM is an international conference, which is kind of a spin-off of a conference initiated by Procter & Gamble years back. It's about smart data, smart marketing data, another buzzword here. And what we, in the category of attribution, I think the way that where we have a single source to measure exposure to all these channels, and then also attribute that to change of behavior, causal relationship. I think we had, someone from Warner coming up the stage and saying that our solution kind of perceived as the holy grail in the market. And I think the way that we've done it and the way we're doing it for global clients in different markets globally has led to an attribution award in the category.
Exciting.
Which we're really proud of.
Congratulations, it's amazing. So what can we expect from Beatgrid Media ahead? What can you give us a sneak peek of next developments or exciting launches or something like that? In what direction are you guys looking to grow?
Yeah, I think attribution is something that we're gonna grow more on. So we're gonna track. We get explicit opt-in, obviously. We're gonna ask our participants to allow us to understand what apps they're using. For example, whether they're using Uber, whether if they've been exposed to an Uber ad or video ad, or whether they're using particular game apps. So causal-based closed-loop attribution from TV to app usage. That's gonna be a new product. And also the causal relationship between different exposures to these channels to a web visitation, right? Which makes offline media exposures to digital attribution. It's not really available in the market today.
Right, no,
so,
I can imagine.
So that's going to be from a product perspective. The innovations we're going to be launching in new markets, being led by some of our FMCG clients that we work with. They're pushing us to open up more markets. So all's going in the right direction.
Fantastic, great to hear. So we'll be looking forward to see what comes next. If we take a step away from Beatgrid Media and we look at brands, you're trying to service brands, you're trying to help them understand and give them a full stack, holistic measurement. What do you foresee for the future of this particular sphere?
Well, I think what we're seeing, there's quite a difference between brands and how they invest in market research. I think market research is a changing industry. I think it's being disrupted by algorithms, data. People nowadays need to adapt to those new roles, and I think the leadership within brands need to motivate, management, staff to be more full stack, to be adaptive to the change in industry. I think some of our clients are actually saying, if we cannot measure exposures through TV or radio passively, we're not going to do even a research on it, right? So we've already seen that trend. So in other words, traditional way of working is going to be obsolete pretty soon. And I think it imposes new opportunities because it requires new expertise on top of data and algorithms. I mean, people get new roles, right? Suddenly they're all data scientists. I think people need to be more full stack to really understand. I think a lot of people are not really understanding what the new world means, and if they're not investing in understanding the new world about data, algorithms, technology, how that influences their daily job, or how they can embrace that and bring that innovation to the client, they're going to be left behind. And understand that, you know, the daily work has been driven by the madness and the demand of the client. But, you know, that's why I said leadership. Leadership needs to invest to work inside the business, but also work on the business, right? And otherwise, this industry is just going to be declining, and it's going to be algorithms from the big data and technology behemoth.
Have you ever had challenges with customers who fail to recognize that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, you know, we occasionally work with media companies, right? Traditional broadcasters, for example, that have their own in-house market researchers. And obviously, we come up with a new technology that kind of replaces the methodology. However, they're resistant to new technology sometimes because they feel it potentially replaces their job, which isn't the case. It's all about embracing new technology and adopting and being a front runner rather than a follower. And we see that sometimes, you know, within those companies, within those brands, the more commercial, the strategists say, okay, let's just do it in a way that we work with the politics around it, and we're going to push it anyway. Some brands will say, okay, if my market researchers are not behind it, we're not going to do it. And that's sometimes a force which is working against us, and sometimes for us.
What inspired you personally to go into this area?
So I have a background in broadcast media. I used to sell radio advertising, cross-media campaigns, combining radio with print, and sometimes even TV, and trying to have all these channels work together. And then after that, our client said, hey, Daniel, how did the campaign perform? And my only answer was, well, you're going to get the ratings in 2 weeks' time. Wait for the ratings, which isn't going to tell you much, right? So there's a massive gap in the market in terms of offline audio, video types of measurement, and that kind of led us to heavily invest in the R&D and bring up new technologies.
Amazing. It happenstance that it happens in an era of technology that can also do what needs to be done. So it's an amazing time to do this. Very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing. I think this has been a very interesting innovation for cross-media measurement. I have to ask, because it's the theme of today, if I may, if you could pick a superpower, what would that be? Apart from innovation and
getting access to any data that I want access to.
Okay.
Yeah, which basically data is information, which is a competitive advantage. So if I can access just any data, that would be my superpower. Well,
I could imagine that being incredibly successful, actually. Data is oil, gold, and power these days, so I feel like that's a very good one. Thank you so much, Daniel. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. We'll be looking forward to hearing what you guys are up to maybe in a few months again. So good luck, and thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back with you in a couple seconds.